What is up, YouTube? This is Vault here, back in today with you guys another new Speed Duel deck profile right here. And for those who watch the Swordswoman Control or Burn Stall deck versus the Dinosaur, I guess, Blade Knight deck or Dinosaur Black Tyranno deck the other day, here is the deck profile showcase from that Speed Duel match. If you guys haven't seen that Speed Duel match, be sure to check that out as well. And yeah, here is the deck profile and let's get into it. So as always, we're going to do a quick card sleeve review right here. We're going to use our long time no see that I used to use for the Blade Knight deck. I guess these simple Yu-Gi-Oh OCG generic blue sleeves. Very simple, very clean. I like it. Yeah, the simplicity just matches the deck, honestly. Nothing really matches this deck, I would say. But yeah, I just decided to go with these. So quick shout out right there. If you guys are interested in some of the sleeves I use, you guys asked me a lot what the outer sleeve I use right here is. It's called KMCW version. I don't know if they're still making them anymore, but these are really great. I personally really like them. They match the outer sleeve a lot well. I like the little gap and extra areas it gives personally, but some of you guys might not, so just so you guys know. And yeah, quick shout out if you guys are interested in some of the OCG sleeves. We are selling a couple of them on the eBay AVAULT store, so be sure to check that out in the link description down below. And yeah, and get your hands on those exclusive OCG sleeves from Japan right there with really cool artworks that are limited, that we can't get access here in North America, and we do ship worldwide, so keep that in mind. Anyways, let's go into the skill and the deck right here. We're playing Yu-Gi with Destiny Draw. Unfortunately, I didn't really get to use the skill during the match, but you know, there are some opportunities I could have, but I kind of chose not to in the end. But it's a really good skill to generically have. If you guys don't like it, you can definitely play the Hidden Parasite version with Weevil skill as well, but I think Destiny Draw is just usually an easier way to go, because you can. I really like the viability of being able to grab any card you want for any given situation. That's a really cool thing to have in that situation, and this is really the best skill to have as well. Switcheroo is also a really neat skill that you could play as well right here, which works out for the deck. But once again, I usually prefer Destiny Draw overall. So yeah, let's go right into the monsters. Of course, you're playing 3 Amazon Swordswoman. They're really annoying to deal with for your opponent at all times. They don't want to take that damage, and the whole point of this deck is you're trying to, I guess you're sort of burning, but you're sort of like shaving life points off your opponent bit by bit to get your win condition until they realize they're really low on life points. The pressure's really on them, which makes it very difficult for them to play around. And then we're also playing 3 Hyper Hammerheads right here. Shoutouts to the ones that are made in Hollow, which we pulled from the Tournament Pack 2 for Speed Duels, which is really cool as well. Also really annoying card to deal with because it keeps bouncing them back again and again. And then we also play 2 Yomi ships for destruction to basically stop your opponent's monsters as well overall. And then last but not least with the monsters, we're playing triple Zombina right here. The whole goal is to basically reborn any of these targets again and again, bring it back, and basically yeah, get your opponent really annoyed from there. And once again, bring out Swordswoman to make more even pressure, to make it hard for your opponent into wanting to attack into your monsters overall. And so yeah, that rounds off for the monsters right here. Quite a lot of hollows, which is pretty neat. And then moving into our spells, we are playing 2 Mask of the Accursed, which is really great once again to basically burn your opponent's life points down and to, you know, basically get your win condition from there. Also 2 half shots. Half shots is just really great. Works really well with both Swordswoman and Hyper Hammerhead overall. To really basically, you can choose to basically usually lower your monster's attack so it can't be destroyed by battle, and then basically your Swordswoman halves attack, and then your opponent will be taking even more damage. And then, as you guys can probably even seen before with the Speed Duel match, you can even lower your opponent's monsters to inflict that damage to them, vice versa, which actually gave us the game winner in that Speed Duel match. Once again, shout out to the Hollows ones in the Tournament Pack 2, which is really cool. And then now we're moving into our traps. We're playing 2 Floodgates. Floodgates are just great standard trap to have. Really good to stop really massive monsters that your opponent has, or really annoying ones that are like game changing basically. We'll also play 2 kunais just for extra protection. Maybe swap these out if you guys want, but kunai works well into making your monsters like 2000 attack, makes Swordswoman into 2000, makes Hyper Hammerhead into 2000, which is pretty neat, and makes it even more annoying for your opponent since you're putting them into defense and they can just destroy them by battle the next turn. And then last but not least, 1 Windstorm to round off this whole main deck. So yes, a 20 card deck here overall, which is really neat. Very control-like. It's like, I guess it feels like a new version of like the Blade Knight control or something like that, but I call it Swordswoman control instead. And it's really neat. It's kind of fun. Because this deck is pretty good against many different type of decks. And moving into our side deck, which is very interesting, a little bit different to our standard side deck right now. We do play 2 Blast Spheres right here, which are really cool cards, and deal a lot of damage to your opponent, which is really good, and I really liked it. It worked out really well in the Speed Duel match against it, even though the opponent was able to Dust Tornado it a lot most of the times, but people are afraid to play back row removal at the moment too, so it's kind of rare to see an aggressive back row removal deck in that duel. But they're really good siding. You can really side it off with like 2 Yomi ships or maybe 1 Yomi ship and 1 Hyper Hammerhead to make this deck much more like flavorful and spicy, I guess, in terms of like being able to come over many different situations, which I really like overall about this deck, I have to say. And then we're also, of course, playing 1 Eradicating Aerosol against the insects, 1 Blast Held by a Tribute, which is really great and came in handy and proven my point that, since we floodgate a lot of monsters, it's very likely your opponent will be tributing monsters, and this has basically gave us more game-winning condition, which is really great because you inflict 1,000 life points to your opponent. It's just really good. Really helps out this deck and blends very well overall as a really good side deck card option overall, because you're shaving off life points with Swordswoman, with Mask of the Accursed, and then suddenly, the hit by surprise of a Blast by Held by a Tribute, it just win games from there as well, and turns out the whole situation. And then we have 1 ready for intercepting, which is really good for warriors against warriors and spellcasters as always, and then 1 Dust Tornado to round off to basically, destroy any back rows and field spells that the opponent has that are that we have to really deal with, which is really good as well. Once again, there's also a different version that I might test out, which is like the Eradicating Aerosol Hidden Parasite version. I kind of don't want to play that version simply because, it's like you risk in destroying your own monsters as well. I know that that card is really great for nuking the field as well. And to make it really annoying for your opponent to turn tables around. But I felt like this deck worked very well for me overall in being playable to many different situations, and you still do okay even without having to nuke the field, which is really great. And we don't play Waking the Dragon here. I think I should be playing Waking the Dragon as well, just in case your opponent does play a lot of back row removal, like the one that we faced against in the Speed Duel match the other day as well. And then yeah, so Waking the Dragon might be put in as well, but there's a lot of options you guys can like move around with these cards. If once again, like, all cards work really well. I guess you're just playing like the best cards of every single card in Speed Duel at the moment, and put it all into this deck, I guess if you will call it. So I can say this deck is like pretty semi-competitive even, it makes it very interesting to play against many different people. So yeah, once again, comment down below on what you guys think. If you guys enjoyed this deck profile, be sure to hit that like button. Let me know what sort of cards would be really good for this deck. Swap in and swap out. I know this deck has been shown quite a while ago when Arena of Lost Souls first initially came out, but I thought that deck wasn't as great. But right now in this current meta, I think this deck works really well. There's massive monsters running around, like what's his name? Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth. There's like heavy armored bugs or armored bugs that are really strong. People play Despair from the Dark as well. High attack monsters, King of Skull Servants. This is just a great counter to that as well, since they're not going to want to attack into a Swordswoman because they're just going to take lots of damage against smaller attack monsters like the ones that are like middle base, like Blade Knight or 2000 attack and 1700 attack beaters. It's quite good as well because then you can just slowly shave off their life points instead and sort of stall and control and you know, you can see how it's very well built to take advantage of all the situations. Anyways, yeah, comment down below, let me know what kind of cards you guys would play in this deck. If you guys enjoyed the deck profile, subscribe for more awesome speed through content as well. And if you guys do want more speed through content, subscribing is the best way to let me know you guys want more. As always, you guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. And this is AVAULT signing out.